Hey, good morning. It's Tony talking Car Biz. Thanks for watching. In this video, I wanted to give you some tips and tricks and ideas on how you can use video to follow up with your customers. So, why video first? Number one is video is everywhere. Ask yourself, how many videos have you watched just today on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter? How many videos do you watch on a daily basis? Plenty. What makes you think that your customers are any different than you are? What makes you think that your customers wouldn't respond to you following up with video? So let's talk about how you can use it. So on day number one, you have a customer, they come into the dealership, they look at a vehicle, they don't buy, they leave. They're going home to think about it. They're going to talk to their spouse. They're going to talk to their neighbor. They have another car they want to look at. So how can you use video on day one? Well, simply put, use it as a way to say thank you for coming in. They came all the way over to the dealership, spent some time with you, and now they're going home to think about it. They're going home to talk to their spouse. So quickly send them a video of the vehicle they looked at, a quick walk around video, and a thank you message in the form of a selfie. So there are a lot of tools out there that you can use for free, like YouTube. Every iPhone has the YouTube app built into it. Every Android phone has the YouTube app built into it. And you can send a video out to your customer using YouTube that is only visible to your customer. So you can make it a unlisted video so nobody else will see it. So using the YouTube app, you just log in, you do a quick video, you get the link, and then you drop it in your email out to the customer. Or you could text it to your customer. So email and text are two ways of communication that frankly didn't exist 20 years ago when I got into the car business. We just had telephones, right? All we could do is call them up and leave a voicemail and hope they called us back. Well, today you have email and you have text. Now, email is kind of tricky because not all email gets through the spam filters and not everybody reads their email every day, but I still think you should use it. You should use all three and potentially four, including direct mail. So on day one, what are some of the things you could do? Well, on day one, you could do a selfie. You could go, hey, Mr. Customer, thanks for stopping in today. I know you wanted to talk to your wife or your husband about the vehicle. I wanted to give you a quick video on the one we looked at so you can share it with that person. Then if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please give me a call back. Otherwise, I'll reach out to you later today. Thanks again for stopping in. Have a good one. So something very simple. When should you do that? I would recommend doing it, give it a 30 minutes or an hour before you send it to the customer. Doesn't mean you can't go do it right away. But the great thing about YouTube is when you push a video up to YouTube, it sends you an email link back. So you have that link in your email, so you could do it right away. And then later you can grab that link and email it out to your customer or text it out to your customer. The great thing about text is every text you send gets through. Every text you send, the customer ultimately will look at. There's very few people that don't check their text on a regular basis because it's so gosh darn easy. So if you do that YouTube video, it'll shoot you a link back into your email, grab that link, drop it into a text and or an email, and send it off to the customer. I'm not suggesting that you do one or the other. I'm not suggesting you just call the customer or you just email or you just text. I'm suggesting you do all three. Take the time to follow up with the customer on day one and give them a video of the car so they can show their third baseman or third party person the vehicle they looked at. The next time that you should send them a video is after you leave your day one follow-up call. So we all know that if a customer visits the dealership today and they don't buy, we should call them the next day and once again thank them for stopping into the dealership to see if they have any questions or comments or anything we can do to help move the process along. Now, quite often when you make that call, again, you're going to get a voicemail. Don't assume that they aren't getting the voicemails and that they don't want to call you back. I recommend leaving a voicemails. Others say don't, and that's really a personal preference. But in either case, you should be making that one-day follow-up call. Now, after you make the call, if you don't get a hold of anybody and you leave a voicemail, then by all means send another video the next day. Hey, Mr. Customer, it's Tony at Smart. Wanted to make sure that you got the video I sent yesterday. That's why I went ahead and texted you again today. If you have any questions about that car or there's anything else in our inventory you'd like to know more about, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll try to reach out to you tomorrow. Thanks again. I'll talk to you soon. Something very simple like that. Now, one of the biggest struggles or challenges I've had with working with salespeople and persuading them to use video is that everybody's really subconscious about, sorry about those. Everybody's a little bit subconscious about the way they sound and the way they look. And I'm here to say the customer doesn't give a rat's. They're not hung up on the tone of your voice or the sound of your voice or the way you look, right? Unless you're totally a wreck, they're not even thinking about it. It's not important. It's only important to you. Turns out you think about you more than anybody thinks about you. But I'm here to tell you, get over yourself. You're not that important. I'm not that important. The way I look and sound is not mission critical to whether I can serve my customer. So what I strongly recommend you do is practice. Not because you need to get a new haircut, but practice so you're comfortable and you're natural in front of the camera. Practice, send a couple to yourselves so that you can see what you're doing and you can hear what you're doing. And then tip number 2 is have a word track or a script, if you will. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to have a script. It's not a script. After you've written it down and you've used it several times, you'll finesse it, you'll massage it to fit your personality, but you really should have some structure to your voicemails and you really should have some structure to your selfies so that it's more of an automatic pilot. You don't really have to think about what you're going to say. You just say it and it comes across very natural. Hey, Mr. Customer, it's Tony here at ABC Motors. Wanted to thank you for stopping in and taking a look at our vehicle. Boy, we've got a great selection, including the one you're interested in. So following my introduction, there's a quick walk around video on that car. Go ahead and check it out. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please give me a call back. Otherwise, I'll reach out to you later today to discuss the next step. Hey, thanks much, and I'll talk to you soon. That's totally a script, but I've said it so many times, I don't think it really comes across as a script. So don't get hung up on what you look like. Don't get hung up on what you sound like. Don't get hung up on the words you say. Write a script, practice it a couple times, and then pull the trigger and go to work. If you need a script, if you need a word track, I'll include a link to one in my description. So go ahead and grab that. It's really simple. Try to keep those selfies under 30 seconds. Get the camera up high to eliminate the double chin and people looking up your nose. So just get the camera up a little bit higher and talk right into the camera on your smartphone as best you can, but don't lose sleep over it. Just hold it up and do a selfie. We've all done them, and send it off to your customer. So what do you do on day number 3? What do you do on day number 4? What do you do on day number 5? Well, I always recommend calling the customer, right? Whether they pick up your call or return your messages, doesn't matter. You want to make sure that they're aware that you're available to help them, that you have their best interest at heart, okay? But on day number 3, 4, or 5, I strongly recommend putting together, again, a selfie, right, of an alternative vehicle, okay? So that sounds something like this. Hey, Mr. Customer, it's Tony here at ABC Motors. So I was out on the lot taking a look at some cars today, and I saw this Nissan Altima, and I thought you might be interested in it. The other day when you were here, we took a look at a Camry. An Altima is a very strong competitor. In fact, a lot of people compare them frequently. We also have some Honda Accords. But here's a Nissan Altima. Go ahead and check that out. Then if you have any questions, comments, give me a call back. Otherwise, I'll reach out to you later. Thanks much. I'll talk to you soon. So that's day 3, 4, and 5. Offer an alternative vehicle. Don't think that they're so hung up on the one you looked at that that's the only car they're going to buy, right? In fact, if that was the only car they were going to buy, they would have called you back on day 1, but they haven't called you back yet. So they're not entirely committed to that car. Otherwise, they would have bought it that day. If that was the only car in the world they were going to buy, they would have bought it that day, or they would have called you back that night and said, hey, I'll take it. Or they would have called you back the next day when you left them and said, hey, Tony, I want to make sure you hold that car for me. They didn't do that, which means they're considering all other alternatives. And you need to be ahead of that. Get out in front of that alternative, because I can guarantee you 8 out of 9, 8 out of 10 other salespeople are not offering alternatives post-mortem after the customer leaves. Most of them don't even offer alternative while the customer's at the dealership, much less 3 days later offering alternative. What kind of alternatives? They're looking at a new car, offer a certified used car. They're looking at a certified used car, offer a non-certified used car. They're looking at a Honda Accord, offer a Nissan Altima. They're looking at a Ford Explorer, offer a Toyota Highlander. Something different, but similar enough. Trust me, if they're looking at Ford Explorer and they haven't called you back on the one that they're going to buy, they're probably considering that Toyota Highlander. They might be considering that Nissan Pathfinder, that Jeep Cherokee. So most people, according to statistics across the entire industry, most people do not buy the car they set out to buy. And if they were going to buy the car they set out to buy, if that was the only car they were going to buy, they would have called you back by now. Sooner or later, they all buy. I do not see anybody riding horseback down the highway. So be tenacious, but in a respectful way, and add value every time you engage the customer, right? Add value by offering an alternative vehicle. Add value by offering a special incentive. Okay? So always build value and add value, and you'll get them back on the line. Video is the future, and you really need to get involved with it, because if you don't, you're going to get left behind. And if you want to, stay ahead of your competition, if you want to sell more cars in 2019, you better do something different than you did in 2018, other than show up to work on time. This is Tony talking car biz. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked my video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you'd like to see more like this, and share it with your coworkers. I think they'd get some value out of it as well. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.